This is going to be ranking every state license plate from worst to best. The worst license plate in the country has got to be Delaware. A very boring and basic font, no background designs like a lot of the states have. And when it says the first state on the top, the only thing that does is remind me that they haven't updated their plate since they became the first state in the 1700s. 49th is Vermont. This is another bad one. Now, they do have their state nickname on the bottom, and I guess having the plate be green is fitting, but other than that, this one couldn't be much more bland. 48th is Virginia. I'm pretty sure they use the default font that comes up every time you open a Word document. And again, we have another one with no background designs, but they were saved from being dead last by having the Virginia is for lovers on the bottom. 47th is Massachusetts. Another one that's very plain, but the color scheme is perfect for their state's history, and the font is better than the first three we've seen. 46, New Jersey. Again, a boring one, but saved from dead last by having the state logo and the yellow fading into white on the bottom. 45th is Alaska. Now, like a lot of the first five we saw, this one's just very boring. They used a very basic font, and there's nothing going on in the background, but they do at least have the state flag, so that's what kept it out of the bottom five. 44th is California. Again, another one that just has absolutely nothing to it, no background, nothing special as a tribute to the state. The only reason it made it this far is because the cursive font is pretty nice compared to the ones we've seen so far. 43rd is Michigan, just a plain blue and white design. They do have the pure Michigan up top, which is like their state's catchphrase, but there's nothing really to distinguish this as the state of Michigan. 42 is New York. This one looks like they just copied Alaska, but instead put blue on the top instead of making it all yellow, but still, I don't like this one at all. 41, Connecticut. No special recognition to anything in the state, but I do like that the blue fades into white on the bottom. 40th is Pennsylvania. Just a very basic design and no special tributes to anything in the state at all. But it is multicolored, which is more than we can say about most of the ones we've seen so far. 39th, almost the exact same concept as Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Got the gold and the dark blue color scheme. Gave it a boost over PA though, just because it's got the little striping on the bottom, which is a little bit more unique. But still, this plate doesn't have a whole lot going for it. 38th is Rhode Island. Finally, we have one of these plates that pays tribute to something in one of the states. They're known as the Ocean State, so it makes sense that they have kind of the wave background. But I think with an ocean theme, they could have done so much more and been more creative and eye-popping. 37th is Wisconsin. Now, they've got the America's Dairyland nickname on the bottom, so that's a good tribute. And I like the farm that you see in the top right corner, but I absolutely hate the font that they use for the word Wisconsin because it looks like it's from 200 years ago. 37th, Kentucky. Kind of plain when you first look at it, but I love the font that they use, and I like the horse tribute at the end of the word. 35th, starting off, I gotta admit a mistake I made. I thought the bottom plate you see here was Texas current plate, but it is not. Currently, they have the top one. If I would have known that at the beginning, I would have probably had this one 50th. So I'm sorry, Delaware, you're actually not the worst plate in the country. 34th, Nebraska. Now, it looks like they just copied the color scheme and format of Pennsylvania and West Virginia, but they do have the little statue in the middle, so that makes this one a little bit better than others. 33, Montana. You got the state outline, so that makes this one better than some of these that we've seen, but still, there's not a whole lot going on with this one, just a little bit boring. 32, Tennessee. Now, they do have the mountain background, which is a good tribute to their state, but I feel like they could have done so much more with a mountain theme and made it look a lot better than this one. 31, Minnesota. Now, it does have a blue color scheme throughout to represent the lakes in their state, and it also has the little forest scenery up there in the top right corner, but we're getting to some that are really good, so I'm looking for things that are really unique, and there's nothing super special about this one. 30th is Missouri. Now, this one's a little bit plain, but it's a really clean look. I like the font that they have for the word Missouri. I like the state outline, and the bird on the bottom is a nice touch for a tribute to their state. 29th is Kansas. Again, nothing overly special about this one, but it's just a nice, clean look, and it has a good tribute to the state by having the state seal in the background. Not too bad, but nothing elite about this one. 28th, Arkansas. Again, if you're noticing a theme in this portion of the rankings, this one's just a nice, clean look. Nothing super special to make it really stand out, but it does have the little diamond in the middle that's a nice tribute to the state. Not a bad plate. 27th is Colorado. Now, when I first looked at this one, it looked a little bit boring, but the more I looked at the mountains, they actually look pretty cool, and it's a perfect way to recognize the great mountain ranges in their state, so it makes sense. I like this one. 26th, Washington. Just about the exact same concept as Colorado. Got the mountain range in the background. The only reason I had it higher is just because I like all the color in this one. It makes it pop a little bit more. 25th is Oklahoma. It's got a pretty unique design with the bird in the background. The only reason I couldn't have it any higher is because it looks a little bit sloppy to me. It took me a second to figure out that that was a bird, but it's overall a unique design. 24th is North Carolina. I like the nice font that they used on the bottom, and they've got some good tributes to their state with the field on the bottom and the airplane on top to represent the Wright brothers' first flight in the state. 23rd is Mississippi. Not a ton going on with this one, but I like the color they use with the light brown, tannish color. I also like that they have the seal in the center to represent their state, and my favorite thing about this one is the curly-cued S's in the word Mississippi. 22 is New Hampshire. The obvious thing with this one is the background. It just looks really cool. I also like the green and blue color scheme they use. It makes the plate really pop, and the two different styles of font on the bottom are a really nice touch. 21 is Ohio. I'll be honest, I punished this one a little bit just because I love their old plate, so I don't know why they ever changed it. But I do love the concept of this new one. It's got words all over the background that have meaning to the state. Things like aviation, Buckeye, rock and roll, things like that. The top 20 is where it got super tough because honestly, I really like all of these. But 20th is South Carolina. I really like the palm tree as the centerpiece of the plate. It makes perfect sense for their state. 19th is Iowa. I really like the concept of this one. It's obviously got the grass on the bottom, but then the various scenery across the top really represents a lot of different aspects of their state. 18th is Alabama. Now, it made it this far because the scenery in the background is very pretty, but I just couldn't put it any higher because there's nothing about that photo that makes me distinctly think, oh, that's Alabama, but still a nice plate. 17th is Indiana. Again, we have the very pretty scenery, and I understand that they're known for having a lot of covered bridges, but I do think they could have done something more distinct to their state. 16th is Oregon. Nice scenery that represents the state well, just nothing super unique to be any higher. 15th is Maine. Now, the font of the word Maine does come across as a little bit boring to me, but other than that, I love this plate. It's got a great nature scene on it, which is perfect for their state. 14th is Idaho. Got a patriotic feel to it with the red, white, and blue color scheme. Got the mountain ranges in the background, which you see in their state. And my favorite thing about this plate is the tribute to the potato industry there by having the words famous potatoes on the bottom of the plate. 13th is Illinois. They've got some really good tributes to their state in this one with the Lincoln picture and the land of Lincoln since he started his political career there. And I also like the skyline that you see in the background. This one's pretty well done. 12th is Hawaii, an absolutely iconic plate that made it this far for that reason alone. Now, when you just look at the bones of it, it's a little bit boring since the rainbow is literally the only thing on there. But how iconic it is, this one had to be top 12. 11th is New Mexico. I just absolutely love the way this one looks. The tealish and yellow color scheme is amazing, and I love having the state symbol as the centerpiece of the plate. 10th place is Louisiana. Now, there's not a whole lot to this one, so it might be a little surprising it made it this far. I just love the pelican as the centerpiece, and I also like the little shadings that they used of different colors on the bottom. 9th place is Utah. I really like that they used the Red Rocks theme for the background of this one because that's really recognizable with their state. My only issue at all with this plate is I think it just looks a little bit too cartoonish, so that's why it wasn't any higher, but other than that, I really like this one. 8th place is Maryland. Now, this one might be another surprise that it made it this far in the list, but I just love this one because of the flag on the bottom. I think it really meshes well and matches up with the rest of the plate perfectly. 7th place is South Dakota. I mean, this one just speaks for itself. Having Mount Rushmore as the background is genius. It's perfect because everyone recognizes that it represents their state. 6th place, Georgia. Now, Georgia is the peach state, so I love that they incorporated that theme throughout the plate. They even have the nickname on there, but there's peaches throughout and even a peach tree, so I think this one is perfect for them. Number 5 is Florida. Super iconic. Got a lot of great tributes to the state. They've got the state nickname on the bottom, the outline of the state in the middle, and the oranges as the centerpiece of the plate. This one was an easy choice to be top 5. Number 4 is North Dakota. Absolutely beautiful scenery in this one. You got the buffalo, so it pays good tribute to the state. The nice nature scenery in the background. This one's really pretty, so it had to be top 4. Number 3 is Nevada. The main reason I like this one was just because it's super bright and colorful, so really eye-popping, but it's also got some good tributes to the state with the mountains, the state outline, as well as the state slogan on the bottom. Number 2 is Wyoming. Got the good tribute to the state with the cowboy and then obviously the background. But the reason I love this one is because it's just got a beautiful scenery in it. If you saw this plate, it honestly might make you think, oh, I want to go visit Wyoming. So they get big time points for that. And the best license plate in the country is Arizona. It's fairly iconic, but got lots of colors to it, so it makes it super eye-popping. And all the features on the bottom are great tributes to their state.